third-party candidate. So we gotta really finesse. This is like a surgeon. We need to get strong conservatives, but we need to get the angry group to kind of support it. Daggett should have left when he saw that there was a strong conservative in Christie, which he didn't. So the Democrats are not running ads for Corzine, they're running ads for Daggett. And that's what we have to deal with, because all you constitutionalists, you're right on the money. Look, I spoke to 3 different classes today at Carroll High School about the constitutional election that's going on now. The Constitution is everything. Without it, we are nothing. But we can't bite off our nose and spite our face, but we also can't settle. That's a dilemma that we're in. And the dilemma is the choice between 2 equally undesirable alternatives. So it's going to take the constitutionalists, the true conservatives, to really be smart and try as best they can to get a true conservative, not by political ideology, but by lifestyle, by life, love of government and home. Love of home, family, not love of government.
You're in the wrong crowd to say that.
The proverb said, in the abundance of words, sin is inevitable.
Bob, how do you draw?
Love of God, home, family, country, personal responsibility, education, all those are conservative principles. But there's going to come sometimes when, if they're close to our position, and not entirely there, as I heard Willie say today, we can't let, because what we did was handed the government to Democrats to punish wayward Republicans or pseudo-conservatives. Am I right?
Yep.
But the point was, the point was, in doing that, we should have defeated them in primaries and not in general elections. Although, what's her name? Scoza Faza. I can't remember. She would have been just like in voting the Democrats. So, to you folks here at this table, you got to be not only active, but you got to be surgical, you got to be smart, and I think you're going to make all the difference from what I can tell.
If I just say one thing, Bob, you know the old saying, fool me once, fool me twice, shame on me. How many times are we going to get burned by taking the party's advice as to who we vote for? Yeah. I recommend everybody take a look at Deborah Medina as an option to Rick Perry and Kay Bailey Hutchinson, who have done nothing but send us down a road of progressivism in concert with the Democrats.
Well, now I heard what you said. So you talk Deborah Medina all day, and I'm going to go to her affair on Star Street later on, and I'm going to listen to her, okay? But overall, in the state of Texas, when you look at the state of Texas and the other 49 suburbs of Texas, we realize that we have a weak governor and a strong legislature. We never gave the first Republican Speaker of the House the credit he was due. We never gave him the credit for what he did in cutting the budget when revenue was short. And he's cutting child care, he's cutting CHIP, he's cutting this, but he held the line. He led in the legislature. So to say that any ill is Rick Perry's fault, or to say that all gains are Rick Perry's gain, you can say what you want. But I guarantee you, there's not going to be a strong enough Democrat to measure. So this is the fight we can fight. We can fight Perry versus Kay Bailey versus Medina, because there is no really reasonable, there's not a Democrat that's out there. And I think it's a good fight. But in other elections, it might not be true. In other elections, we got to hold on to the closest to the conservative that we have, rather than just giving it to the Democrats. So I think, and like I said, I'm going to see Deborah. I plan on bringing her on my show. Okay? But the point is because we don't have to fear in Texas of a Democrat for governor. So I agree. But there's going to come a time in congressional races and other races that this group here is going to have to bite the bullet and pick the best alternative. Not the least, not what we call, how is that, a choice between,
The lesser of two evils.
because the lesser of two evils is still evil. No, we got to look at the positive. And in Texas, we got a lot of positives going for us. Fortunately, we don't have a strong Democrat, so we can deal with the Deborah Medina issue, but that might not always be our luxury. That's all I'm saying.
One other question, Bob. You drew a distinction.
Hey, ask Willie. Don't be asking me.
Well, no. I'm asking for a clarification of something
Okay.
you said. You said something about the constitutionalists and the conservatives and drew a distinction between the two. Could you explain that distinction to me?
Sure. When I see the constitutionalists as a group who call themselves constitutionalists, they believe that they are more aligned with the Constitution than normal conservatives, because they look at conservatives being Republicans. And I'm telling you that a true conservative is not based on a political ideology of being Republican or anything else. There used to be true conservative Democrats. I'm telling you.
That's right.
All right? There used to be. So when you talk about conservatives and constitutionalists, you're making a distinction that could cloud the issue rather than clarify the issue. Because I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in the Constitution. But there are conservatives in this country who may be social conservatives versus fiscal conservatives. So that's clouded the issue. All I'm saying is that sometimes constitutionalists and others, and one of the problems that I have with Ron Paul folks, look, it's not a flat plane. You can go so far left and so far right that you'll meet, which is why some of Ron Paul's positions are identical with Dennis Kucinich. Because they met. It's round.
Which give me one of those positions where he's aligned, so that we can.
Lying. I didn't say anybody was lying.
Aligned.
On what? On Ron Paul versus Dennis Kucinich?
Yes, I mean, because I wouldn't. Just because they're in different parties doesn't mean they should be on opposite ends of the spectrum. They should be loyal opposition toward the Constitution.
Well,
so tell me, give me one issue when you. I mean, because
We're
you
kind
got.
of denigrating the conversation, but let me say this.
I don't think
Aside
so.
from the fact that Mr. Paul often speaks against earmarks, he gets plenty for his district, which is why he got over 80% vote to stay congressman, but on less than 20%.
That's not true. His well, I need to.
Ask me a question. Let me answer. On the war, for instance, both of them said that the war in Iraq is wrong. Dennis Kucinich and Ron Paul, right? Mm-hmm. Now, Ron Paul said because only Congress can declare wars, etc. Dennis Kucinich said no war is legitimate for the United States to engage in. They both met at the same place. The bottom line is since World War II, the Congress has acceded to the president under the president's power to do whatever is necessary to protect the citizens of this United States, which is engaged in military action. So the point is that they both say so. But I'm here to tell you that the war in Iraq was a war that was voted on by the Congress and the House of